$600,000 in debt. What's that? That's what a child born today will pay over his or her lifetime on account of the president's outrageous $5 trillion budget. Moderate Democrats don't like the high price tag, but Chuck Schumer is behind every part of what he calls the big, bold, robust way. Not one Republican supports it. So what happens next? Here's Capitol Hill correspondent Abigail Robertson.
Moderate Senate Democrats hope to convince their colleagues to cut the multi-trillion-dollar budget bill before they commit their support, while Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer vows to keep all of President Biden's agenda in the final product.
It will have every part of the Biden plan in a big, bold, robust way.
Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders, Senate Budget Chairman, exerted major influence on the bill.
It really is the most progressive priorities we've seen out of the Democratic Party put into one proposal.
Connor Semmelsberger from the Family Research Council says this bill is not what families want.
It really is this liberal wish list that is couched in this language for being about families, when in actuality, it's really what liberal elites, many of which don't have children themselves, are dictating for the rest of the country.
Semmelsberger says Senator Joe Manchin helped Republicans take an important step in preventing taxpayer funds from paying for abortions.
Senator Langford worked with his colleagues across the aisle and actually got an amendment added to this budget resolution, which reaffirmed the Hyde Amendment and then the Weldon Amendment, which protects the consciences of healthcare professionals to not perform abortions.
Economist Stephen Moore told CBN News' Faith Nation he's aghast at how much money the U.S. government plans to borrow.
This is a gigantic amount of money. Each child born today, if this passes, will pay $600,000 in debt over their lifetime. I have nothing good to say about this. We should be saving money right now, not spending it.
And fears if this becomes law, it will cause a financial crisis.
I am very worried about inflation, especially if they pass. Look, if you pass another $4.5 trillion of debt borrowing, that's going to be financed by printing more money. And when you print more money, that means more inflation.
As House Democrats prepare to take up the budget reconciliation bill, there's a chance the price tag could go even higher, and they may remove Senator Langford's pro-life protections too. Pat?
Well, Abigail, give us a sense of the timeline. What happens next, and what else do they have to do before that bill becomes final?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's important to know that what the Senate passed this week is really just the first step in the budget reconciliation process and is just a framework. So this is now moving on to the House that's going to reconvene August 23rd. And when they come back, they're going to fill in the details of some of the things that Senate Democrats want to see in the bill, the White House wants to see in the bill, and they're going to merge that with some of the budget plans that House Democrats have. And as this process plays out, we can expect to see probably some pretty public battles between moderate House Democrats and progressive House Democrats, who both know in a very slim Democratic majority in the House that their votes are incredibly important, that their votes matter. And moderate Democrats want to bring the price tag down, while the progressive Democrats want a little more spending for some more programs. So it's going to be very interesting to see how House Speaker Nancy Pelosi goes about handling this to get everyone in line, because they can just lose a few votes in order to get this passed. But I think we'll see the final product sometime in the early fall.
Well, Manchin and Sinema going to be for it or against it in the Senate, do you know?
This is the big question. Both of those senators are in their home districts right now. They're going to hear a lot from their constituents about how they feel. And both of them have very publicly, since taking that vote earlier this week, come out and said that they are incredibly uncomfortable with the $3.5 trillion price tag. And they're going to use negotiating power to try and get their colleagues to make cuts. But as I said, when this bill hits the House, the price tag could go even higher. But they are crucial votes. And as you said, every senator needs to be in line. Every Democratic senator needs to be in line in supporting this bill in order for it to hit President Biden's desk. And at the end of the day, they'll have negotiating power, but I think it's very unlikely that either of them vote against it, because it really is the heart of President Biden's agenda.
Well, as I understand it, I don't want to belabor the point, but this is $3.5 trillion, but they're going to add another $3 trillion. It's going to go 5, 6, 7 trillion before they're finished. Now, am I right on that?
Well, so some of the estimates are saying that right now it looks like $3.5 trillion, but over time it actually could be closer to the numbers you're mentioning, $5 trillion, because once these programs are put in place, Republicans and Democrats know that they are almost impossible to scale back. So these are programs that once the bill puts them in, we will likely have them for the rest of our government, and they could get very expensive over time, and the price tag could get much higher than what's being predicted right now.
Abigail, thanks for your